Hello everyone. It's time for another Unscripted Memories. I know I usually did them in the summer only and did special ones in the fall and mostly focus on the tunnel memories. But lately I've thought about how there have been a couple of topics I don't want to really do in a scripted video because I don't know how or don't feel like it'd work well. But I kind of want to do in an unscripted video, so I decided to just make Unscripted Memories a thing I do whenever I want. No season, no structure, nothing. Just I do them when I do them. And the Pokemon Anime retrospective I teased years ago, I decided to do in this style because I can don't have to show any footage. It can just be me talking and rambling. I can show off my collection and reflect on memories and stuff. So that's the good news about Unscripted Memories, even though it's like not professional at all compared to my other series. But I still like talking and showing my memories, and that's why I made these series to begin with. So hey, unprofessionalism in this memory saga, I don't mind as long as, I'm being nice about it. And that's what I'm going to do today, because today I'm going to talk about how I got into Japanese importing. Really, how importing works in general, but mostly Japanese imports. Because it's something I've been interested in since 2007, and I have someone to thank for that. And I'm going to show off some of the cool things I've imported over the years, including a few things I unboxed in this same YouTube channel. So to start off with, here's how I got into importing. Back in late 2006, early 2007, I'm leaning towards early 2007 here, I was still obsessed with Inuyasha. For those who don't know, this was an anime that aired in 2000 to 2004 in Japan and ended in 2006 over here. I grew up with it with my mom, and we both loved the ever living heck out of it, mostly because the ending themes would play every single night on the episode, and they were just amazing. It was, to me, my first ever exposure to a Japanese song that had vocals in it, because before then I've never heard anything of the sort, and didn't even hear much Japanese music to begin with, because most of the anime I watched would place the soundtrack, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon had some of the soundtrack in it, like the main show, but I learned that the movies that I liked as a kid had all the soundtracks replaced. So, yeah, mostly the Japanese background music and stuff was just gone in Western anime. And I watched a few other shows on Adult Swim that was like untouched. I didn't care for any of them. So Inuyasha was the major one that I liked. Me and my mom would watch it at 3 or 4 a.m. in the morning whenever it came on, and I should have stayed up that late. During the roughest times of my life, it was one of the peaceful moments, most peaceful moments I can remember. And I'm a big fan of that show to this day, and I kind of want someone to make a big video game about it or something cool. But the show ended, it got revived in 2009 and ended properly in 2010. So maybe I'll do a whole retrospective on Inuyasha sometime if anyone is interested. But for now, the point is, I love the ending themes. And in late 2006, I found out there were opening themes to the show because, believe it or not, in the US on TV, they just skipped the opening so they could fit in, the ads and stuff. Though I think for the fourth opening and onwards, they did keep it because it recapped the episode, and I do remember the fourth intro very vividly, even if I didn't see any of the other two. So, when I told my Aunt Lola, who also watched it with me when I was relocated, and my grandma that I liked Inuyasha's music a lot, they weren't sure what to do because, well, they assumed, oh, if he likes music, it's gotta be on a music CD. So then my aunt went online. I have no idea where, to be honest, but she went online and then bought me this very CD, The Best of Inuyasha. This is a compilation disc of really pretty much all the main intro, half the main intro themes and ending themes to the show. Came this nice little slipcover, and you open it up, and it's a pretty cool disc. It goes from, I'm trying to see exactly. I think it goes from like the first intro to the fourth ending, and a bit of the first movie's ending. It was a pretty good disc, and I really loved it. I just leave it in my CD player and would play it all the time and listen to the amazing intro and ending themes. And they just sometimes made me sad, like on TV, but some of them were just really good. And I just, if I was ever worried or stressed, I just listened to them and my fears would go away. And when I got my iPod Shuffle a few years later, these were my constant go-to songs on that disc. So I do enjoy this disc, and this is technically the first ever import I've ever gotten. Eno's a gift. Then I found out like the middle of 2012, I want to say, that this is either a bootleg or a Southeast Asian release. Because this is published by a company called Alien. You may not be able to see it, but it's on the spine here. Doing some research, they seem to be out of Taiwan, which is Southeast Asia. And this seems to be a reprint of the Best of Inuyasha because the CD's fine, the songs are fine, the quality's fine, it's almost the same, and pretty much everything here seems to be the same in terms of quality. All the inserts are here and whatnot. But the actual disc was released by Avex Studio in Japan, who does the music licensing for the actual artists who do these songs in Japan. So the Avex version is the real CD, and that's kind of what I wanted to get off for a while now. But Avex, they're kind of hard to get, and I not sure I want to spring for them, but I also kind of do, just so I have the real deal. But to my understanding, this is either a very well made bootleg that I can't tell the difference of, or it's a Southeast Asian release that I just happened to get because it was more easy to buy online. So that's my first import. My aunt bought it, and since it looks good, I still like that one a lot. Then a few months later, she knew that I liked the first CD, and was like, hey, I saw there was a second CD, so let's get you this. This is Best of Inuyasha 2, my second Japanese import that she got me. And this one is published by Mia Records, which comes from, from Taiwan. However, these aren't the same guys as that one. And I did some research on this, and it seems this one is a bit more likely to be of the bootleg variety. But, like the first one, it still works fine, and I think it comes with all the inserts. Maybe I even kept the little spine card. Hold on. I didn't keep the spine card, but as you can see, the disc is totally different in terms of the look, like what's supposed to be. And the insert's the same, and it still goes over like the lyrics and stuff. Let's see if I can get this out, though I probably can't because it's been so long. Okay, I did. So yeah, like, there's an insert, it has the lyrics still in Japanese, and I can now confirm since I'm able to see and identify Japanese, since as a kid I couldn't. Yeah, these are the Japanese lyrics. These are pretty much the same inserts as a Japanese release for all the songs. And I believe the song list goes to, the end of the series, the original series. It goes to the final ending theme and starts from the, fifth opening theme. So, that's basic. It just covers the rest of the show's vocal themes. Though I do think I'm pretty sure the fourth movie ending theme was not included because it came out after the show ended. And I did not know that at the time, so I thought there was a good Best of Inuyasha CD. And this is the one I kind of want to get the real deal of from Avex more because, this is probably a bootleg. But at least it works, though I still like to have the official one possible. But my aunt, since she saw that, I thought it was a good volume. So she got me one final thing later in 2007. Inuyasha Official Soundtrack Volume 3. This is not a vocal compilation like the first two. This is the background music they put in the show. I think during the Band of Seven arc, since this is what it says on the back of the CD case. So this has some of the pretty much the best background music I've ever heard in an anime. And the other two OC volumes aren't that bad either. But here's the problem. This is an absolute bootleg, and I'm 1,000,000,000% positive. For one, I can't even find who the labeler is on this disc. And even when I opened the CD itself, it looks kind of weird and whatnot. So, I look at it. It plays fine, but I do remember as a kid it kind of was a bit iffy on the quality, and that kind of made me think it was a bit odd. But since, Inuyasha I got as a gift and it was still good, I liked it. This still does, though, have some not English. It has some Japanese vocal lyrics inside, like before. Mostly from insert songs and the few TV sizes that they included. So it does have some sort of a legitimate brochure included, but this is basically a bootleg or some weird release I've never known the full story about, because it should say Avex around here, these two spots. But I did find out there were two other volumes, so where are those? Did I get them? Funny story before I move on to the next bit of our import exploration. So OST 2 has some incredible, probably the most memorable theme songs of the entire show, mostly the sad songs, which I was a big fan of as a kid. And I wanted it really badly. I listened to it on YouTube. It didn't. I wanted it badly, so I begged my grandma to buy me it. I think you might have heard me mention this in the Bowser's Inside Story episode of Unscripted Memories. That for my birthday in 2010, I was excited, thinking I was gonna get the Mario and Luigi game, and I also was gonna get OST Volume 2. Well, I got it. But it was bootleg, and the most bootleg of any Inuyasha thing I ever had. I got rid of it, and the reason why is because it didn't even work. But my CD player, when it got to some songs like the ones I wanted to import, it would just make this grinding noise in the CD player, and sounds like it was gonna just crap itself, and it was like not good. So I told Grandma, hey, I need this as a bootleg. You should give me the real one. Grandma got mad because she said, oh, I bought this on eBay. It was totally fine. But she got mad and we sent it back. And we went to Amazon and bought a new one from Amazon US, thinking it would be better. It was the same. It was in factory shrink wrap and whatnot, and it had like the spine label, but it was still bootleg. It was still the same crappy CD that wouldn't run well at all. It didn't work at all, and it was a Chinese Taiwanese bootleg from someone that put this crappy weird like the back of the CD, like where the artwork would be. It had this weird word called Trigun all over the repeat, like it was repeating behind in the artwork. There's this Trigun Donuts, and I had no idea what the hell a Trigun was. So I found that's why it was decided it was a bootleg, and since I bought this from Amazon, new this time, Grandma didn't believe me, said it wasn't a bootleg, it just doesn't work, and so she didn't buy me another one. So I stopped trying to get the second OST, didn't even bother with the first one, and that's where my Inuyasha collecting stopped, because of crappy bootlegs. At least the two I may have that may be bootlegs, Best of Inuyasha, at least they work. And at least this questionable bootleg works too. But the other, no, it wasn't good. Luckily, now I know about Amazon Japan and importing and all that good stuff, so I can actually get a legitimate AVEX copy with no issues at all if I just look hard enough. I think some of them are kind of cheap, but the best way to get Inuyasha music if you want to listen to them like me is to get this big compilation that's on Amazon Japan for like 3,000 yen. Not 30,000, that would be too much. A 3,000 yen CD from Amazon Japan. I don't know the name of it. I just know that when Inuyasha the final act ended, they basically combined the two best of volumes into one and add the remaining songs from the final season. And that's the definitive way to get the Inuyasha experience. Buying from Amazon Japan gives you the AVEX version, and I plan to, whenever I get a good amount of disposable income, just buy that and basically have those two discs be shelved. I don't want to get rid of them because they are nostalgic, but yeah. So those are the Inuyasha sightings, but I'm not done with CDs because I have one more. This is the Mother 1 and 2 original soundtrack CD. So in middle 2009, I was watching YouTube videos about Nintendo stuff, and I liked NES and Smash Brothers, and that's when I came across that, well, the Mother series, as it's called in Japan, had some cool soundtracks, because Earthbound Central labeled and featured them, and I heard some of the cool vocal songs from the Mother 1 soundtrack, and also I liked music in Smash Bros. So I was like, okay, I'll just get the CD and get the music that way. So my Aunt Lola bought me this from Amazon, and this is the legitimate deal. It's not a bootleg, it's the real deal. I'm super duper happy. It's from the Sony Music Records. It's from Sony Music Records, and it has cute Mr. Saturn on it. And yeah, it basically includes 10 songs from Mother 1, and it includes 15 songs from Mother 2. But here's the thing that made me a bit less enthusiastic when I got this in my hands. The songs, they're remixes. They're actually kind of good though, like the Mother 1 songs, like Being Friends and especially Wisdom of the World and Snowman. They're great, great remixes, though some of them just don't hold up for me well. Mother 2 are also remixes too, and some of them are okay. I like the Foresight one a lot. And I really like the Smiles and Tears and the, like, post-ending, like, Will You Walk Apollo Home. I think it's Because I Love You or something. that remix is good too. So Smiles and Tears and that song are on this too, remixed. Not any battle themes though. I think maybe the heavy song, but that's it. So I was kind of disappointed I couldn't hear the final boss theme or Worry Aiming Cool. But I loved the Mother 2 side of it more. Ironically, that's my least favorite Mother game. So I basically just played the Because I Love You song on repeat for hours on end when I was just in my bedroom wanting to relax. And it was a really good song. So that's a great import I was happy to have. I do have the actual game as an import, but let me see if I can find it. So a few months after I bought that Mother 1 and 2 CD, well my aunt did, I convinced Grandma to let me go on eBay and buy Mother 1 and 2 on Game Boy Advance. Yes, I bought the Mother series in Japanese. This is my first exposure to the franchise, and sadly the manual is long gone. This was new in the box, but the manual fell out when I was in not relative, but like a family friends in the vacation cabin area. In that time of the year, it just fell out. Like the manual just fell out of the box because I was showing off to all my friends saying, "Hey, I got this cool Japanese game I can understand and you can't." Basically, just being a bit of a cheeky guy. But this is legitimate car. It's not bootleg. It's nifty, and it still has a great label. This whole decade later. That 2009 was a decade ago. So I got the original game right here, and I use YouTube walkthroughs to basically get myself through Mother 1 and 2. I didn't know any Japanese back then, and the only Japanese I even learned from that game was like bomb, because Jeff could use bombs, and that word was very simple to remember. My grandpa didn't like that I remembered the word bomb out of any word in Japanese, but now that I know more Japanese like hi, EA, and all that stuff, the navigate menus, I can probably go through Mother 1 with no problem on this. Mother 2, though, has a bad trading side quest, and let me say, that world block of a bunch of Japanese items you need to find, trade, find more, and do in a certain order, I'm just so glad I found a walkthrough that translated it for me, otherwise I would have never been able to beat Mother 2. But yeah, Mother 1 is still my favorite Mother game, and it's on here, and the fan translation actually covers this side of the cartridge. Mother 2's can still be a bit of a sloppy port, it's a bit buggier, and you can even do some funny glitches in it. But yeah, this is a game I imported. The first video game I ever imported, Mother 1 2. Pretty good one. Never imported Mother 3 though. I didn't like how the rhythmic battle system looked. And I also didn't like how it was broken into chapters, because I thought you couldn't go back to the older areas, and what's the point of exploring the RPG? To this day, I still kind of don't want to get a Mother 3 card, like from Japan. Not only because bootlegs have increased since then, especially of this game, because of the translation patch, but Mother 3 is like bootleg heavy. Back then, I could have gotten a legit card, no problem, because it was like 3 years old at that point. Now it's 13. So I could say I regret it, but I think I'm gonna wait for the inevitable English release. I know there's some things that people think that may have to change, but I think they can change them. I don't mind if they change them. Just give us the game. I can wait. I can play other fan translations if I want to, but Mother 3, I'm gonna keep holding off for that official release to see the wait's worth it. Mother 1's still my favorite in the time being, though. So now that we are off soundtracks and the games, the next game is one I mentioned a bit before, Pokemon Soul Silver. This is an amazing game. People have always sung the praises of it, sometimes a bit to excessive levels, but how I got it was in 2009, I think I mentioned this in the Bowser's episode as well. I had a choice between Bowser's Inside Story in the US or Pokemon Soul Silver, which was hitting Japan in late September. I really wanted this because Gold and Silver were my favorite games growing up in the Pokemon series. And I remember as a kid going to some kid's house with my mom and seeing this boy on his Game Boy Color entering the Team Rocket hideout with Lance and his Dragonite. That was the coolest moment as a kid because I was like, wow, Lance from the Elite Four, he's in this game too? Cool! So I basically filled in the missing link of my Pokemon games because I had Red and Yellow and now Sapphire, and then I just went back and got Gold and Silver. I always showed off the loose copy of Gold I got in the recent Eternal Memories on the Game Boy Player, but I wanted Soul Silver because it was the one with Lugia, and I like Lugia. He's a good boy. So I basically begged my grandma to let me spend the $60 from eBay, like mere days after launch day. I think I got it ordered on the 18th or so of September, and then I didn't get until the 24th or 25th of September. And yeah, I got Pokemon Soul Silver. This is still the complete box, and I have everything. Here's the game. Though the box is beat up, I opened the wrong side too many times. I opened this one a bit too many times, and it just got old with age, so it can fall out. But I still have the game. I have the Pokewalker, and I have the Pokewalker manual all here. Though the Pokewalker's battery has long since died, and I don't really feel like getting a new one for it. But yeah, Pokewalker, manual, and the game. And the box art itself is actually cooler than I expected. So yeah, that's my Japanese copy of Pokemon Soul Silver. I played it, and like Mother 1 and 2, I knew no Japanese, so I just had to go through with what I knew from the original game and get through it then. But I loved it. I played through it immensely for that fall season, and it was a great experience. And yeah, this cartridge just holds so much memories for me. It was a legit copy. It worked with future games, and I even got to trade my English Platinum and Pearl versions, which also blew my mind, because I could trade some old mons to Soul Silver, and when Heart Gold came out and I got English version of that, I traded some of my favorite Soul Silver mons to Heart Gold. And some of them are still in my new games now, but a lot of these mons are in this game because you can't use Poke Transporter and Black and White's little mini game with this, because it's not a Japanese Black and White. So yeah, this is a bit hard to transfer out of, but I still love this game, and I'm glad I got it. I think if they do Let's Go Johto, it'll still be a fun, entertaining game, but I can see why some people are distrustworthy of Game Freak and remakes after Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. The less I say about that game, the better. Though I will say I actually didn't mind Let's Go much because it remade Yellow and did everything to a T, which is more than I can say for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, not doing everything to a T. So maybe Let's Go Johto will still be a fun time, but I think Soul Silver is still a high quality Pokemon game. So next up on my notable import list is, well, 2 games I unboxed and 1 I didn't. So let's just go with the one I didn't unbox. Just skip ahead a bit. This is Rabbit Lady Puzzle Out Stories. It came out on the Switch in early 2018, and this is a compilation of 4 very simple puzzle platformers called the Rabbit Lady series in Japan. 2 or 3 of them, I believe, came out on the 3DS eShop in North America as DS-IRA games called Rabbi Lady, and I think the one called Witch's Cat. I don't know if it came out over here or if it was on 3DS eShop over here. But all I know is that the main 3 games came out over here, and yeah, they all look basically the same. So these are just the side games put on the cart, and this bonus cat game on there too. It's pretty basic. I have it in my case right now, so this case is empty. But yeah, this is a budget game I got for $20 when it came out on Amazon Japan, because a few months later it was already discounted. So it's a fun puzzle game. You don't need much Japanese to understand it. There is a story that you will miss out on, but it really isn't that important. And the menus are super easy to navigate for any Japanese beginners like me. So I was able to basically just do everything as if it was natural language in terms of know what everything was, what to do. And yeah, it's a pretty fun puzzler, though it's Japanese only. And I kind of wish they localized it because the Rabbi Lady games were already brought over here. Why isn't this out here? It's a fun puzzle collection. It doesn't even have to be on physical cart. Oh well, that's Rabbi Lady Puzzle Out Stories, and that was a more recent import, because we were jumping from 2009 to 2018. Though I did do an import game before then in 2016, and that was none other than Ys 8. I did an unboxing on this. I showed off gameplay of it on the Seafoam Gaming YouTube channel when it came out. This is my first Amazon Japan purchase, and I couldn't be happier. Though this Vita version of it, looking back after playing the other versions, is rough. The reason I dropped the game after chapter 1 in this version, it slows down so much. Oh my god, I'm not even exaggerating. The slowdown in this game on the PSTV is awful. And just chugs so much. And there's also so much loading and breaking up of the world. And It's a great, godlike game, but this version is like obviously a prototype in the sense compared to the PS4 version. And even the Switch version actually gets rid of the extra loading, so that version is better, even though it runs at the same frame rate. But yeah, this is East 8 on the Vita, and it was my first imported game since 2009. Because since 2009, I didn't have any reason to import any game for any system. The reason? Region locking. On the 3DS and Wii U, they region locked it. Wii U I understood because ESRB differences, and that was the reason why the Wii was region locked. But the 3DS, when it first came out, I was like, okay, no one cares. It doesn't matter if it's region locked. I still get all these cool games anyway. Now, why did you region lock the 3DS? Like the DS, it wasn't region locked. I can still play Japanese DS games on my 3DS, as a matter of fact, unless they're DSi games. I can still play like Mega Man, like Walkman Shooting Star EXE, which a friend gave me. That's in my game case over there. And I can play Pokemon Soul Silver on my 3DS like it's no tomorrow, but I can't like import the Kunio Famicom collection or the Sega 3D Classics Final Stage collection. Why can't I import Thunder Force 3? Are you scared I will blind my eyes from reading Japanese kanji? That's probably one of the dumbest things Nintendo's ever done in the past decade, if I may be honest. And the 3DS's region lock kinda sucks nowadays. So thus I didn't import any games. I kinda want to get a Japanese 3DS though, since there's a back library I really want to check out and some games I heard about that I thought would come over, but never did. So yeah, because the 3DS and my Wii U were my main systems back then, I didn't import because I had nothing to lose it on. If I imported a new game, then I couldn't play on anything. I was super close to importing Super Mystery Dungeon for the 3DS because there was this homebrew hack that would break the 3DS's region lock, and I wanted to play that game early before anyone else so badly because I learned some Japanese, I was a big Mystery Dungeon fan, and I was just desperate. But I decided against it because we only got the game like 2 months later, and I was happy I did because I think that exploit got patched in like no time at all. But yeah, the period of the 2010s until 2016 was a big drought for importing. So I didn't really import much of anything, and the CDs I didn't really get much of either. I just bought my iTunes from that point. Though now I'm getting the CDs again, thanks to limited editions, so hey, maybe we'll see more import stuff. Last but not least, my most recent noteworthy import, Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon Everybody. This is a great Mystery Dungeon game, not as good as the Pokemon ones, and honestly, I think this one is kind of not as refined as some of the other non-Pokemon Mystery Dungeons. It's kind of rough. As a remake, it gets the job done. It provides a portable Mystery Dungeon experience that works great, fun to play, super challenging. People who don't understand the main Mystery Dungeon series will get their ass kicked, including me, and I do know the main series. But I still enjoyed when I played this, and the co-op would be good if it didn't have this awful, droning background song. I was gonna play through the rest of the game with my friend Paul. We heard the music. After one dungeon, we just couldn't take it anymore, so we went to play Smash Bros. Instead. I'm really sad that they just chose a bad Chocobo theme version for the background music and multiplayer. Because if they didn't do that, this would be probably one of the best co-op games in the entire system. Because the strategy in this game is incredible, and you can get on the US store for like $40, and it sometimes goes on sale for like $27. But it's only on a download. And I just am a Mystery Dungeon fanatic, so I had to import this. And since this has English support, I figured it was, well, why not import it? It's a good deal. So I imported Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. And that does it. That's not every single import I've ever owned, because I've imported a few digital things and whatnot. But those are my major physical imports that I remember, and they are some of my favorite things I've ever gotten. Especially the Inuyasha stuff. So what do you think? Have you ever imported anything because you couldn't wait for it to come out of Japan, or because you just didn't know it was available here? Or were there any imports that you wanted but didn't get hold of because it was expensive? I know the Darius collection I wanted, but it was so expensive I didn't want to get, and now it's cheaper digitally on the Japanese eShop, so I might as well just buy yen. So yeah, that's it for this Unscripted Memories, and while these won't be as often, I think I'll still put these out every now and then to share memories about stuff like this. Take care, everyone, and bye!